Hey everybody, it's Julie and I'm hopping along with Waffle Flower Stamps as we play with the water media mat today. I was really excited when Nina launched this at Creativation this year down in Arizona because I love to watercolor and Nina does too. And one of the great things about this tool is that it's white. I love white tools because they never clash with anything in my studio. It's made of silicone and it's non-slip, so my paper sits on there, doesn't slide around. It's waterproof, of course. It's heat resistant, so I can use my heat gun, I can use a hot glue gun, I'm not gonna ruin it. It's very easy to clean. I can just take baby wipes and clean it up, but you can also take it over to the sink, and wash it in some soapy water and then rinse it off and set it aside to air dry or pat it dry with a lint-free towel. It's non-reflective, so it's actually pretty awesome for doing photography work and for doing video work because you don't get the glare from your lights that are overhead. The non-stick surface makes it super easy to make your own enamel dots by using the Nuvo drops, and you let them dry there on the surface and they'll just pop off, which is awesome. And any kinds of glue will just peel off really easy peasy. There are 12 wells here on one end of the palette, and I love that. You can rotate the palette, you can flip them over to the left if you're left-handed. I'm right-handed, but you could also work with it vertically and have your palette way up at the top. So I tend to like it over on the right, so that's what I'm doing. I'm adding about 5 or 6 colors of some liquid watercolors by Pink Fresh Studio, and I'm just looking at what I'm getting here on my watercolor paper. And one of the reasons why I only use about 5 or 6 colors and I leave the rest of them, the little wells, blank, is that I can use those to dilute color down. Say I want a softer color of pink. I've got an empty well that I can do that with. So I can keep both a deeper intensity color and a paler intensity color. And if I want to do some custom color mixing, I have empty wells that I can do that in. Now you could use the whole palette, the whole mat for doing this, diluting of colors and color mixing and everything, but I have a tendency to drag my hand through stuff that's on the actual work surface itself, and then I end up ruining my project, and I hate when that happens. So for me, I really like that all my colors can be contained over here in this palette, out of my way, but very easy to reach while I'm working. So I'm just testing out this custom color I'm making. It's still too orange. I'm probably going to add a little bit more pink there to get more of that rosy coral pink color I'm looking for. And here I can see, I'm getting exactly what I want. I'll probably have to squeeze my water brush a little bit more to get more color in there. But I did learn that, when the color dries on this mat, you can just reactivate it, of course, by adding more water. So those paints, don't worry if the paint's dry, you just squeeze a little bit more water out of your water brush and reactivate that color. And for those of you that are wondering why I'm painting the wings blue and outlining my unicorn in blue, the reason for that is it's kind of an optical illusion. It makes things that are supposed to be white look even whiter when you outline them in blue. So I will often do that with my white critters that I want to look particularly white against the paper surface. And it's not really any whiter than anything else. It just kind of looks that way later on. See? So cute. So now I'm going to move on and start using some browns and everything on the owl and have a ball just continuing to add color. And sometimes I'll let it dry and then I'll come back and add deeper, darker color in certain spots, especially the detail areas. I think they call that glazing. Now, I am not a watercolor expert. I haven't even really studied watercolor. I just like to slop the color around. So this is the Julie Ebersole slop it, push it, spread it, leave a little white space, add some shading. I don't get too technical because I don't have time. I just like, that looks good. Okay, we're going with that. That's how I roll. So hope you don't mind my very unorthodox method of watercolor. I'm a card maker, right? It's not going to hang in the Louvre. So I'm not worried about it. And someday maybe I'll paint something large enough to hang on the wall. But for the most part, my canvas is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, your standard A2 card, baby. That's what I'm going with. So I'm just going to continue happily painting along here, and I really enjoy, this is very relaxing, you know, to just sit here and slop the color around. I don't care if it goes outside the lines. I don't care if I have little white spots. To me, that just makes it look all the more hand painted. I'm not trying to fill in every little spot or every little detail perfectly. I like that irregularity, hand painted look. So I'm just going to have fun with it. And then when I'm done, I will die cut these little critters and make some cards with them. Next up, I wanted to try the Distress ink cubes. These are just the regular Distress ink. They fit perfectly into the well. So I'm just wiggling them, squeezing them, and pressing them against that little square there, and they're the perfect fit. And once I get the colors laid down, I can grab my water brush and get busy painting. So I chose a palette of colors, but as I started working, I realized that they were too muted for these characters. I wanted something a little more splashy, a little more vibrant. So after I got to a certain point, I reached for some more intense colors of Distress ink, like picked raspberry and what's that, persimmon. Because I started out with like spiced marmalade, mustard seed, and it was like, okay, that's fine, but I really want more pop, more wow. So I had to switch colors, and then I got much more vibrant in what I was painting. And I do love that vintage photo color for doing browns. It's just kind of a reddish brown. Anyway, I really love that color. And I never thought I would like be crazy for brown or anything, but when I find a brown color I really like, and it has to be a certain kind of brown. It cannot have like green undertones. If it has red undertones, I really like it because it's a warm brown. It's not like a mossy brown or sometimes when it has green undertones to it, it makes me think of like mold. I'm really particular about my browns. I don't know why. But another thing that I've learned when it comes to black, you really don't know all the pigmented colors that are in black until you start to dilute it, and then you'll see the different tones that are inside black or that made up that particular color of black. And you don't know what you're going to get till you start diluting it down. And so you'll see some have purplish undertones to them. So it's very interesting when you start taking really dark colors and start diluting them with water to see what you get. So anyway, I had fun playing with these guys, and I ended up making a tilt card with these little Be Her girl heads. I love my little fox here. She's sending warm fuzzies, and I just put a couple of wood embellishment hearts that I've had in my stash for a long time. But I could do this with all the Be Her little critters in that set. So much fun. Thanks for joining me today. Have a good one.